Hi, everybody. My name is Anna, and I am with WERC, the Wildlife Education and Rehabilitation Center in Morgan Hill, California. And what we do, our main mission here is to take in sick, injured, and orphaned native wildlife and release them back out into the wild where they belong. Sometimes, though, we do get animals in that do have injuries to them that if we were to release them back out into the wild, it would not survive very well on their own. So we keep them as residential animals. So we're able to take them out to events or do programs such as this. So you guys get to see animals up close and personal. So we deal with local wildlife. And I know from the last presenter, you guys have seen that there's a wide variety of animals that call Coyote Valley home, which is why it's so important to have places like Open Space Authority who help keep land open from being built up so these animals have a habitat, because they play a very important role in Coyote Valley. And again, Coyote Valley plays a very important role with wild animals. So the animal ambassador that I brought out to share with you guys today, you might see her flopping around off the screen a little bit. This is Eureka, and Eureka is a yellow-billed magpie. She is playing around with her feet a little bit because she's used to being loose in her enclosure where she's flying around. She's like, why am I stuck here on your hand? I want to go fly up into a tree. So don't mind her. Also, what you might notice when you first see her is around her eyes might look a little bit strange. She's missing some feathers. She's actually going through a molt right now. She had to wait right before we were going to come on and do this program to start going through a molt. So what a molt is birds will actually lose feathers and fresh new feathers grow in. There are some species, such as a lot of the corvids, which are crows, jays, magpies. These guys, it seems with her, it's every other year. She'll actually lose almost all the feathers on her head, so she can look a little bit silly. So this, unfortunately, is one of her little silly molts, so that's excuse the way that her eyes kind of look. But the reason why I chose her to bring her out to share with you guys is because how special these birds are to Coyote Valley, to California in general, because this is the only place that you will find them. These guys are endemic to California. Across part of the rest of the United States, they have the black-billed variety. So you can imagine they look very similar, except the beak is a different color. Personally, I think the yellow just is very striking on these birds. So if you go out to some of the open space preserves in Coyote Valley or go hiking, keep an eye out. You might take for granted if you see these magpies around, not realizing how special it is that you are seeing them. Because like I said, these guys are just endemic, so they're only found here, and it's also small pockets in California, so it's not all of California. So you can find them up in Gilroy, all the way down. She actually came from Santa Barbara, so how we got her and why she's not out in the wild is when she was young, she was in a nest, and some raccoons, unfortunately, they are a predator, got in and killed her entire family. She was a lone survivor. Luckily, somebody found her, was able to save her. She went to a wildlife center down in Santa Barbara. These guys are very intelligent, very smart. They live in a family group. So they learn social cues by being around other magpies. They didn't have any other magpies that came in, so they were trying to find a place that could take her because they were afraid that she was getting too used to people since she was such a youngster when she came in, and there was no other magpies to put her with. So she ended up coming up to our center. We tried to reach out, trying to find any place that had magpies to put her with. Fortunately, we couldn't find any. We tried to get the wild ones around here to kind of help get her acclimated. But unfortunately, at our center, we do have yellow magpies, but they like to stay farther down the road, and we can't leave her down there safely. So she was getting too used to people. So unfortunately, the decision was made that she was unable to be put back out into the wild. So that's why she goes to these programs so people get to see them up close. Because in the wild, when people notice them, they just see a black and white bird with a yellow beak. But if you really look closely, when the sun hits, she's actually an array of different colors, especially on that tail and the wings. She's got some greens and blues and purples. So these guys are pretty beautiful birds. And how they help Coyote Valley is these guys help seed dispersals. So they'll eat vegetation. They might eat some berries and fly in their fecal matter, poop out some seeds or spit them out. And it's going to help spread the vegetation around. So again, it's a very important role. A lot of birds will do this. They also are a scavenger. So they will be kind of like a cleanup crew. If they find some dead animal somewhere, these guys will clean it up. So again, which helps stop the spread of diseases, and also helps break down those bodies to kind of fertilize the soil to make them nice and rich. A lot of other animals do this as well. I'm sure if you go out to Coyote Valley and you look up in the sky, one of the most common birds that you will see up there or flying around in the sky is actually turkey vultures, a very common bird. And how you can identify them is usually you'll see them in more than one. You'll see them in groups. You could see them singularly, but when they fly, they make a V shape with their wings and they kind of tip back and forth and kind of fly in a circle. If the wings are flat, you might be looking at a hawk or even eagles. We do have bald eagles and golden eagles around as well. So we encourage you guys to kind of go out, take a look at all the different variety of wildlife, and again, know how Coyote Valley, helps these animals by getting them a habitat, and how these animals help by seed dispersals of their seed eaters. Again, scavengers like that turkey vulture help stop the diseases. A lot of the birds of prey kind of help control prey species so that population doesn't get out of control. So there's a lot of different variety of birds. You just got to keep your eyes open.